Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to embark on a journey like no other. Welcome to the Glum Lot Podcast,
your go-to destination for a unique blend of recovery and discovery.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Mark. And in this podcast, we will endeavor to create a safe and uplifting space for our guests and listeners to share their stories with sincerity and a touch of humor.
Remember, we are not a Glum Lot. The Glum Lot Podcast is more than just a source of entertainment. It's a beacon of hope, proving that even in the darkest moments, recovery is possible. Every story we share carries the power to inspire positive change.
So buckle up, get ready to listen, and join us in discovering the strength that lies within every individual's journey. This is the Glum Lot Podcast, where humor meets hope.
All right, Brett, welcome to episode 113 of the Glum Lot Podcast. Glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad. Glad you actually want me here after what you just said.
No name calling, okay?
Yeah,
and so we want to remind our listeners that they can reach us at the Glum Lot Podcast at gmail.com, and please join our Facebook group.
Yeah, please
the Glum
do.
Lot Podcast at Facebook.
And if you know anybody that you might have a good story and you think that would be a good thing to share, please let them know that, well,
we're always looking for guests.
That's it.
Always. So what's on your mind?
I think we talked on the last episode in the beginning about relapse.
Yes.
And how we don't really know when we're doing it at first.
Right. We don't see it coming.
And I think that's because we are comfortable with what we were, right? It's an easy place to go back to. It's comfortable to us. Anything new is a whole new frontier and scary.
You know
so
something?
It's pretty easy to go back to that.
I heard one of our former podcast guests at a meeting last night, and we were talking about that, and he said, although my life in using was shitty and dark, I knew it well, and it was comfortable, even though I hated it.
Right.
This new sobriety to me was scary.
Of silence,
and
right?
daunting.
He was talking about being in a room without
I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And that can be scary, and sometimes people retreat back to their old way out of fear.
Right. So how do we deal with that when we're fresh in sobriety? How do we not go back to that?
One thing is you got to talk about it.
Yep. Solves half the problem instantly.
You know, a lot of it, embracing steps 2 and 3, you have a new power in your life, you got to use it.
Yeah.
And there will be times early in sobriety when fear plays a factor. So how do you overcome fear? Well, you got to turn it over.
Yep.
And a good way to turn it over is through prayer and meditation. Another good way to turn it over is to talk to a sponsor, talk to another alcoholic in the program, because they've probably been there too. The thing you don't want to do, I don't think, at least for me, is to keep it to myself.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'll start taking advice from myself, and that's not going to lead to any good outcomes.
And another thing we can do is get involved with the people in the program, right? Cocaine Mike likes to always say, AA's fun. It can be a lot of fun. Sobriety can be fun, and there's a lot of things out there that are going on, but we kind of have to insert ourselves into that. And I know you insert yourself into everything, but anyways, there's lots of opportunities to get involved and get a new peer group, right? And that'll keep you busy as well.
I'm kind of proud of myself, by the way.
I know.
I didn't touch that.
I know.
I didn't touch the insert.
You just
myself.
did that.
I kept my mouth shut. I was a good boy.
Well, you just didn't want to retain the fun that I was trying to have, and so therefore I suffer because of it.
Yeah.
But that's the main reason.
That's all about you.
I know.
Anyway, the what you're saying though about the fellowship is true.
Right.
When we went out, we were drinking, we found our people.
Mm-hmm.
Those can't be our people anymore. We have to find new people. And if you find people in sobriety, you're going to find out that it's going to help your sobriety. Not only that, but it is a lot of fun. And there's
it is.
Great
it meant
people.
the world to me when I started doing that early on, going to the dances, going to see you guys play in the band, right? All those things replace that downtime that I had so much of.
And you know what? Not everybody in AA is for everybody else.
No.
But I would say, at least from my point of view, the vast majority of people are worth knowing.
Absolutely. So. All those prejudices went away pretty quickly when I came in here and found these are good people.
Yep.
So
yes, all good stuff. So with that, we'd like to welcome our guest today.
Who's that?
Our guest today is Andrew.
Andrew.
Welcome to the Glum Lot Podcast, Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
Hi.
Glad to have you here.
Yeah.
We'd like to start with your sobriety date, if you don't mind.
My sobriety date is March 11th, 2023.
Sweet. Just over 3 years. Congratulations.
Very nice. Did you pick up your 3-year coin?
I did, yes. Yeah.
I certainly did.
Yep.
And so we like to start off with going back to the origins of your use of drugs and or alcohol. First time you ever experienced a buzz from any of that stuff and what it was like for you.
Yeah, like all the details.
Okay. To my recall, anyways,
Yes.
this was on my own and at my home, as an experiment, I think, at a young age. My parents weren't alcoholics, so it was rarely around. But on this case, there was a 6-pack of Zima in the fridge.
Man. Zima.
Okay.
I don't think they make Zima anymore.
No, but you were probably like, that looks pretty good. It's
Yeah.
clear, right?
Yep.
It was like a malt beverage, wasn't
Sorry,
it?
I'm having
Something
a
like
moment
that.
of memories. Yes.
So
Yeah.
how old were you?
11 probably.
Okay, so you grabbed it out of the fridge?
Yep. Grabbed one out of the fridge, drank that.
Yeah.
Then drank 2, then 3.
Yeah, it tasted
Holy
good.
shit.
All 6,
You
Oh.
drank all 6?
All 6.
Did you think your parents would notice it was gone?
Well, so I had a plan for that too. I filled them back up with water and forced the twist
were
cap
so
back
smart.
Oh, they'll never know.
No.
on. No.
Imagine that first sip.
So do you remember catching a buzz, though?
Yeah, I remember the feeling. Obviously intoxicated. I was probably intoxicated after one.
Yeah.
But it that's how my whole drinking went, was absolutely no control. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, no shit from day one.
Yeah.
Man, did
Have
you get
one?
sick?
I'll have 6.
So I felt sick.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Your parents found out?
Yeah, found out later, but had some water.
So when they cracked one open, they were like, why is this water?
Oh,
I
this
think they
shit's
knew
flat.
when they probably twisted the cap that it wasn't quite right.
Yeah.
But
So did they say to you, was this you?
I'm trying to remember how
was a
that
long time
exactly
ago.
went.
And it was 6.
Yeah, I think I got questioned, and that was about it. I
Yeah.
was so young that
So
Right.
no, they didn't get on you real bad. Just it was a kid thing. You tried it,
Yeah.
They probably felt like bad parents.
right?
How did we let our 10-year-old get into the Zima? Must have been all the advertising around it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you catch that buzz that first time. Do you want to go back and do it again at that point?
Well, at that point, and this was hard to remember. I think I was relieved. I remember feeling relieved, and then it wasn't readily accessible, so it wasn't
Right.
like it was very often. But I did want to.
So,
do it
but your
again.
parents didn't have booze around.
Not often. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, not often. So.
So how did you proceed with your drinking or smoking dope or whatever else you did?
Yeah, so gradually as I got older, it was pot or beer when I could get it.
Yeah.
Weekends with friends, early teens, whenever accessible,
Yeah.
So.
Well, I remember when I was a kid. It was long before you were a kid. But everybody would like pitch in. It would be like, I stole 2 beers from my dad's thing. And then somebody goes, I
sweet.
grabbed a half a bottle of elderberry brandy. And
Oh,
people are like,
my
oh, yeah,
God.
great. Somebody go, I got a half a pack of cigarettes.
Yep.
And like
Oh,
you'd all
yeah.
meet in this big deviant freaking.
Out in the woods
know.
in our
Yeah.
little shelter thing with the
Yep.
Playboys.
Oh, yeah. If somebody brought
God.
like a Playboy or a
yeah.
penthouse, better even. People are like, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I got some cigars.
We'd hide it in the
you
dirt.
know?
Yeah.
Jeez.
All that dipshit stuff we did when we were kids. So,
So what do you think attracted you to it? Why was it just to fit in? Did it make you feel a certain way? Was there something you were trying to change about yourself? What do you think?
I think initially it was probably just I was curious.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
But then it only took one drink, I think, for me to realize that I had zero control once I put alcohol in my
Oh,
system.
okay.
I didn't realize it then, of course.
Yeah, sure.
But that was how it went for me.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
looking back, you can tell, right? It's
Sure.
just as soon as it crossed over, you
Yeah.
crossed over, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
so you start smoking some weed, right?
Yeah.
And then you start hanging out with people who drink and want to smoke weed like you.
Yep. For sure.
Was it a departure from the friends you had prior to that?
I think that's how I made friends. Was the smoking weed and
Fitting
those
in.
things. Yeah, that's how I kind of fit in. Use that to feel comfortable enough to fit in, and I'd say like excessive weed smoking, like
So you just got high all the time?
all the time.
In school, before school,
Yeah,
after school?
for sure.
Everybody was like, let's fucking grab a bag of weed and get fucked up.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And so does your consumption of alcohol start to increase? I mean, it's a progressive disease, but does yours start to increase as you get older? in your teen years during high school?
So the way it went for me was not necessarily just alcohol, but other drugs too, pot specifically in those early teenage years.
Yeah.
But then experimenting with other things, right? So
Do tell.
yeah,
Hallucinogens?
yes, but not just that. So mushrooms came around.
Yep.
That was a thing
Yep.
for a while. Started with an experimentation thing. I remember a specific event where I ate an eighth of mushrooms on Christmas morning. I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho.
Santa had claws.
Yeah, that wasn't the best
How old
idea.
were you?
I wasn't driving yet, so
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
I think I was 15.
So you're a little fucking burnout, huh?
God,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Damn, what else? Coke was around then, right?
Yeah. So shortly after that was my experiment with Coke, which really grabbed me. And me and a friend, we bought it was just a little bit of cocaine just to try it. And as soon as it was gone, I wanted more.
Searching.
Yeah. Was it just snorting it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. You didn't
yeah.
smoke it or anything?
Not that. Not yet.
Not yet.
Settle down, Mark.
Yeah.
We
Boy, wasn't that a thing with Coke, though? It was like you'd pitch in and get a gram, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, this would be good for tonight. As soon as that gram's gone, you're like, do you think we could probably get another gram?
That's exactly
And then
how it
4
went.
in the morning, you're like, do you think maybe we could just get one more?
That's exactly how it went.
I know. I was there.
Yeah.
So by the time you graduate from high school, have there been any repercussions either from family or school or anything about
Yeah,
drug
you
and
trouble.
alcohol?
Yeah. So before I graduated high school, I already been to rehab once
Oh, shit.
and on misdemeanor probation for stealing from a car dealership under the influence.
Okay.
The same friend that we tried cocaine, we thought it was a good idea to take these wheels off a car at a car dealership, and
I know how we could get some money to get some more Coke.
yeah,
I've got a great idea. It's
Not very
flawless. So are your parents like freaking out?
they're a little concerned at that point.
I can imagine, especially if they don't really drink.
That's my boy.
Did they think you were like out of hand?
Yeah, for sure. My father was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force,
Oh, shit.
and he had about enough of my crap at that
Yeah.
point, So.
Yeah. So how did you come about to go to your first rehab? Did they have an intervention or something? Or did they just say, you're going?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went.
Yeah. What was
Yeah.
your first rehab experience like?
Was it a youth one?
Youth one,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
going to say.
So, it was youth adolescents rehab in Rochester, New York.
Okay.
Park Ridge, I think it was called. But yeah, I remember being there. I remember feeling trapped, feeling
Sure.
like this is kind of like jail.
Yeah. I get that.
No thoughts of really
Getting better.
getting better.
Well,
really.
at the time, the only problem you have is you got caught with the shit, and you're doing it a lot, and other people don't like it. The problem, at least for me, wasn't that I was doing it. It was that people didn't like the fact that I was doing it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't ready to change.
Yeah.
They were ready for me to change, though. So how long was this first rehab?
It was a 28-day program.
Okay, so you go through the program, and you probably learn some stuff.
Sure.
At the time, are you like, that's great, but that's really not me. I don't have the problems.
Yeah, how fast can I graduate and get out of here?
Right, get it over with?
Yeah.
Did you have any intention of staying clean and sober?
No.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not ready, you're not ready,
I just
Yeah.
saw the honesty come out.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah,
No.
because you think about it for a second, like, was there any, or like,
What
there
should I
wasn't any
say?
at all.
No.
So how
Yeah.
old are you when you get out of there?
So I was still in high school, so I'd say 17, maybe 18,
Yeah.
right there.
What do your friends say about it at the time? They're like, dude, you went to rehab?
I don't know if I publicly told anyone.
Okay.
They may have
Deduced
assumed.
it? Yeah.
Gone for a month.
Yeah, they may have assumed, but
Yeah. Andrew's getting fucked up all the time, and he hasn't been around for 28 days.
yeah, right.
So you get out of there, and you just jump right back in?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are your parents trying to keep tabs on you at this point?
To the best of their ability, I think.
Yeah.
It's
Which, when you're
kinda-
that age,
it's kind of tough.
not a
yeah.
hell of a lot you can do,
Right.
Were you employed?
Off and on. I had jobs off and on.
Yeah.
but nothing, not a career,
Yeah.
nothing like that.
18.
So
Yeah.
you did graduate from high school.
I did, yeah.
So did you
How
do
were your
well
grades?
in school?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah, so my grades were mediocre, but I never went to school. So
Yeah.
I would just kind of walk around and get the homework assignments and then turn them in.
So you were pulling it off.
I was pulling it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You graduate, and do you go on to college or no?
Nope, I didn't go to college. I worked for an adolescent behavioral health as a assistant counselor for a little while.
Wow.
Yeah. Which probably wasn't the best place for me.
Yeah, well, I was, as you were using, right?
As I was drinking,
Yeah.
drinking, and I wasn't really doing drugs right then. But,
Okay. But
But the constant was constant, right?
the alcohol was
Yeah.
always, yeah.
Did your old man ever say you're joining the Air Force? They'll straighten your ass out.
So I think I even suggested that.
Really?
And he was the head recruiter for New York State for a while,
Okay.
and he wouldn't even accept me.
Oh, really?
The Air Force, yeah.
He knew some
Yeah.
stuff.
It's like you'll only embarrass the family.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so because when I was young, which was not recently, a lot of times the solution was the military. I remember
sure. Give 'em
kids.
some structure.
I remember kids going to court, and they would give you a choice. You can either do, go to the penitentiary for 90 days, or you can join the military, and the military would take you.
Yeah.
And now the military's like, we don't want you. We don't want to deal with your shit.
Right.
I guess the standards were a lot lower back then, but and it did really help some people. Some people needed structure, and they needed the DI to like beat the shit out of them.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't really happen anymore. And that didn't happen with you apparently. So
No.
So you're at this job and you're still drinking, right?
Yep.
You a daily drinker?
At one point, yeah. I'd say at that point I probably was.
Okay.
So I was still on probation that never really ended for me.
Oh, so tell us about the car dealership heist. So you're fucked up and you're like, I got a great idea. Your buddy's like, I got a great idea. And you're like, all right, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Did you get busted immediately?
Yeah.
It was just stupidity?
So stupid.
Yeah. And so you go before the judge, and what does he say?
I think we got somewhat of a break because we were youthful defenders, you
Yeah.
know, but we still got probation. It wasn't good.
No. So how often do you have to show up for probation officer?
I want to say it was monthly.
Okay. Do you have to
Back
piss
then.
clean or anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
So-
Did you have a problem doing that?
I did. That's why it never ended for me.
Okay.
that's what
So,
you say.
Yeah.
so but when you go in, you're going to piss dirty,
Yeah, most of the time.
and you're just
it
like,
was.
nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, I think that's probably how I ended up in rehab, how I ended up in the outpatient treatment programs. It just kind of like was a continuation of I can't stay sober.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question about that, though, because I don't have any experience with that, the piss test and probation and all that. So you go in and they go, all right, here's your cup, and then they test you and they go, dude, you're dirty again. What the fuck? Mm-hmm. Then do they give you options?
Well, it depends on how many times you've been dirty, I think.
Okay.
Sometimes if it's the first time, they might give you a rehab option or something like that. There's times where I've done piss dirty and they take me right to jail right then.
Oh, no shit.
Oh, yeah, they'll cuff me and I'm not going home that day.
And how long are you in jail for that?
I'll stay in county jail until I go back to court, and then they sentence me for a probation violation.
And does that just extend your
Extend your-
probation?
It could, or it could bring up the initial charge, and they could plead
Sentence
me out.
you?
Yeah, sentence me out for the original charge.
What happened in your case?
I pushed it right to the last option, the last opportunity.
Gee, alcoholics don't do that.
Oh.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
far can I go with this?
Imagine that. I know, right? And went to prison. So I got
did you?
the latter
Okay.
of those two, not military, but went to prison. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So I went upstate, and and 1 1/3 to 4, I think it was.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That must have been unpleasant.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't pleasant. And you'd think that, that kind of experience would, change your mindset, But
Yeah, that's what they're hoping.
yeah, right.
Were you the kind of guy that could survive in jail okay?
I was pretty young going up there the first time, and I was fine. But, it wasn't the greatest environment.
Right. It's not where you want to be.
No, not at all.
So as your time comes close to your release, do you think about making changes?
Well, I didn't stay sober in prison.
Okay. Oh, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of contraband.
Do you have any recipes?
Yeah, but they actually made booze in there, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Was
booze,
it garbage?
Well, it tastes like it.
Yeah. But there's shit smuggled in all the time too, right?
Of course, yeah. That's kind of what I was getting at. There was crack in there, you know.
Yeah.
Boy.
There
So
was
anything you
weed
can
in
get on the
there.
outside, you can get on the inside.
Yeah, for a premium price, but
Yeah.
in most cases, you know, if you want it, you can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you buy it?
Well, there's a barter option.
Yeah.
Which
Honey
is,
buns.
Yeah, more than likely there's some kind of barter system.
Yeah.
Or you know, sometimes you send like a money order.
Okay.
That's another option.
All right. There's ways.
There's
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're not attending meetings in jail, right? Did they have meetings where you were?
If they did, they were scarce.
Yeah.
This was Groveland Correctional Facility. It was a medium facility.
Yeah.
You know?
Did they suggest you go to meetings in or wasn't it a big deal?
So they have like drug and alcohol programs that
Okay.
are mandatory that you take.
Okay.
That aren't AA, right?
Right.
But you have to take them if you want to get out for
Sure.
your CR date, you know. So I was doing that stuff, but I wasn't staying sober. I wasn't
Right.
doing
So
the
you're
right
you're
things.
going through the motions because this is what you got to do to get out.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Like any good alcoholic.
Yeah.
Fool them as long as you can.
No.
So you get there, it's your release date, you get out. Do you immediately go out and start the shit again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So nothing changed.
Yeah, just starting my cycle again.
How
You
long?
went out and found your people again, right? It's what
Yeah.
you knew.
Pretty much. I had never done anything other than this
Right.
at that point. So this time I got a job, though, and actually
Okay.
got a job. I worked in manufacturing for a little while. I bought a house.
Wow.
I had my first son, and I was in a relationship for a little while. But then one day, right, out of the blue, I drank too much, and something really bad happened. I can tell you about it if you
Yeah,
want.
well,
Oh,
please.
yes,
Yeah,
please.
this is what moves people.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, I worked a lot of hours, and that was kind of what was helping me not drink as much and
Keep 'em
control it
busy.
a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Staying busy, kind of focusing on something productive, something healthy. And I worked at this manufacturing plant that worked 12-hour shifts, and I'd work sometimes 2 weeks in a row without a day off.
Yeah.
So I had just done that, a 2-week stretch, and I had a day off, and I started drinking. It was my first day off. I felt entitled that I could drink, you know.
Yeah.
I started drinking. By the mid-afternoon, I was pretty intoxicated, and my son's mother had about enough of it, you know.
Sure.
Wasn't the first time. And she said something to the extent of, well, I'm going to take Lincoln, and you're never going to see him again.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, my 7-month-old son.
Uh-huh.
And you handled that very well.
No, not so much. I don't even really remember the details that happened after that, you know, little blurps, you know.
A little blackout, a little gray out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty scary. But what I know happened and is that I went to the closet and grabbed my 12-gauge shotgun, and I went out into the driveway, and I fired it into her car. You know, this was in the town of Waterloo here in New York. You know?
Was she in the car?
No. So
It was an effort to stop her from leaving.
right.
Okay.
Well, in my unrational mind,
Yes.
that's the best thing I can come up with.
Right.
Thankfully, no one was in the car. Right?
Yeah.
Thankfully, no one got hurt. But
Did you take the wheels?
No.
Okay. I'm just curious.
I stayed in the house, and it was a big standoff, and it was a big mess. you
Holy
know?
shit.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Were you in the house alone?
No, my son's still in the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the cops are around the house, the SWAT team comes out, the whole fucking 9 yards.
You got the kid.
I've got the
Okay.
kid. Yep. And they evacuate the neighbors.
Are you out of your
Big
mind
mess.
at this point?
I would say so.
I can't really remember my mindset. you
Right.
know?
Okay.
I remember like little blurps. I remember talking to the hostage negotiator. I remember wanting to to bring my son out when he woke up because he was sleeping. It was like at nighttime at this point.
Yeah.
And I did. We got through all that, and then eventually I surrendered and went to jail.
Thank God, right?
Yeah.
So in your past, did you have any circumstances, not to this extent, but did you have like anger stuff or just flipping off the handle type situations in the past, or was this just a situation that did it?
So no,
Yeah.
this was like a one-off where those things didn't normally happen.
Right. Was it just alcohol?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
The Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't get better.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're in some deep shit, right?
yeah. So I woke up in Seneca County Jail here in New York, and I had to face the facts that it wasn't her that kept my son from me. It was me.
Yeah.
And I remember that day I felt pretty sick.
I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, when you come out of, so you sober up in jail, and were you like, what the fuck have I done?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So what happens?
Well, back to prison for me for 4 years. Attica this time.
That's a good one.
Yeah, they didn't give me a cushy Groveland
Max
stay
security.
this time. Yeah. So I spent most of the bid in Attica. They sent me to a medium for the last 6 months before I was released. And then I had to do 1 year on parole, which, again, I couldn't stay sober for.
No shit.
Even
So
then.
after all this,
Right.
but I just want to remind for a second, what was Attica like? Because you hear stories about like
Yeah.
we had a guy on one of the episodes who out in California who was arrested from, I think was it murder or manslaughter?
Murder in the First.
Murder in the first. So he was in San Quentin,
He was a lifer at San Quentin.
and he was with Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but-
Crazy.
and this guy turned it around in prison.
Yeah, he managed to get out because of AA meetings, and he refounded the San Quentin Times, which is a famous prison system newspaper.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what was Attica like? I mean, were you scared?
I think I was numb,
Yeah.
from everything. There was times where there's, some intimidation stuff going on.
Sure.
There was
Testing you.
a couple events like that where you had to fight back. That's just kind of the way it is in there.
Yeah.
The people are getting stabbed in the yard and stuff. It's a rough environment.
Yeah.
So
Still drugs and alcohol available?
yes, and so I stayed away from the drugs. There was
Nice.
a couple times where I drank though in there.
Was there a rehabilitation program for substance abuse in Attica?
Yes, and I completed that.
Was there meetings too or no?
Sporadic. Every once in a while, you hear something that there's an AA meeting.
It seems to me, and I don't know a lot about this, but, anecdotally, it seems like the majority of people that are in prison are in there as a result of being under the influence of drugs and alcohol and doing shit. I mean, I don't think there's probably a lot of people in prison that have a fucking straight and narrow mind that weren't fucked up when they did something fucked up, or mental.
Unless their mind just is.
Yeah, well,
gone.
I'm sure there's mental illness in there.
Yeah.
But it's a facilitator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about this guy that we had on that was in San Quentin was they had regular AA meetings in there, and the booze was available to him, and he did partake of it until he got to a certain point where he reached that, we call it the turning point.
Yeah.
But he did it in prison, which I think was pretty crazy.
Well, I think a lot of times aren't those things usually brought to the prisons, right?
Yeah.
I think the AA's bringing the things. I know that happens here locally.
Yeah.
If that didn't exist, it wouldn't exist.
But
in
you
the
didn't get a
prisons.
lot of that in Attica.
If it was available, it wasn't
Yeah.
communicated well within the walls.
Yeah. Okay.
anyways.
And how old were you about this time? You were in your 20s?
Yeah, so that I would have been, late 20s anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the last 6 months, they're going to kind of roll you out to this medium and get you ready to go back on the outside.
Yep.
Is that kind of the plan?
That's the
Yeah.
plan.
And at this time, are you going to a lot of counseling and getting help for reacclimating to the outside world?
No,
Are you kind of on your own?
they're kind of on their own.
Yeah.
Did you go back to her? Try?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, surprisingly, we got back together. and
Okay.
had another kid.
Oh, my goodness.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
And you're still not sober?
No. No. I got another job.
I think there's an and then coming up.
Yeah, you got another job.
Got another job. Bought another house. Different place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, different job, different place. But same person.
The
same
one
core
constant
problem.
is, the alcohol, right?
Yeah.
And other drugs still, or no? Or is it just down to alcohol?
So the alcohol is always a consistent, right?
Yeah.
And then, so this time the cocaine came back around, and got really bad.
You start smoking?
Yep.
Shooting?
Yep.
Okay.
Before the shooting, she had enough sense to take both kids and remove herself, which I took. At the time, I thought it was bad. You know, and looking back now, I'm glad she did.
Yeah,
because
sure.
I was unsafe. You know,
Yeah.
it was not a good environment for children. You know, but you know what ended up happening was I ended up in an apartment. You know, shortly after was because I didn't have children or her
you
to
know,
slow me down.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Nothing in the way.
And a lot of time in the bathroom. I remember like passing out and my face would be like on the porcelain floor as I woke up, you know. I remember like waking up and having like a chunk of my tongue missing. Like,
Sure, from hitting
from
or chewing.
from like a seizure.
Oh, okay.
A seizure. Like I bit my tongue so hard.
She leaves with kids. You're alone. You have more time on your hands as your usage just ramp right up
Yes.
to a constant 24-hour fucked up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And at this point, you need money.
I sold the house. So
Okay.
I had more money than I could use at this point.
More money than you needed to have, for sure.
Yeah.
So you're off the fucking deep end,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I was killing myself.
Yeah. So what happens?
So this is kind of where the turning point came.
Yeah, because did you realize you were killing yourself? Did you know at this point shit's real bad and I got a problem?
I think at this point I did.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do much about it.
Sure, right.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I was at. Is like I realized that this is really bad.
Like it just says in the bit, but you have the knowledge of yourself, but
Yeah.
the resolve to get it done is not there.
I couldn't stop. Yeah. So I knew that much, and you know, so I ended up in the hospital for an infection for a site where I was injecting. You know, and I spent a little time in there. Came back home and did it again.
Yeah, of course. You're better.
Yeah. Back to the hospital, same week, same problem. And something happened in that hospital room. And I wasn't like brought up religious
Okay.
or with any specific God or belief or anything like that. And I'll try to verbalize this the best I can. I try to tell
fine.
people this. You know, I'm laying in this hospital room in a hospital gown in a hospital bed, and something came over me like an urge to get on my knees and pray. And I don't even know what to pray to, but I swung my legs off the hospital bed and got on my knees, and my feet are elevated off the ground because I can't even put weight on my feet because they're infected. And I'm just kind of on my knees and I'm looking up, and I'm just like, if there's a God, I need some help. I can't do this anymore, you know? And ever since then, I've been sober.
Huh.
You know, obviously a lot of other things happened
Of course.
that allowed me to maintain sobriety, but
Yeah.
like that was like my step one experience, you know?
You know what?
Absolute desperation.
Absolute
I
desperation.
wasn't in
defeat.
as desperate a situation as you, but the same thing happened to me.
Yeah, that-
Just what you described. I was not religious. I didn't have a spiritual path or anything. But in the darkest part of my alcoholism, I was all alone. And it was a very dark place. And I walked to the bathroom. It was like 3 a.m. and I was fucked up. And I don't know if you ever did this, but I did. You walk in fucked up and you look in the mirror and you start like cursing yourself out. You fucking suck. You're a piece of shit. Well, I looked in the mirror and I did just what you did. I went like, I don't know what to do, you know? And this message just came to me that said, go to an AA meeting. And this was back before cell phones and the internet. So I had to like look it up in the white pages and call them up on the fucking phone and see where there was a meeting. But I don't know where that came from,
Sure.
you know? And like you, I think I got to a point where there was just one little spark of survival left in me that was spirit that fucking came out of nowhere and saved my ass, you know? So you have this spiritual experience in this hospital bed. And the next day, are you like, that was real?
Yeah. So
you felt something too, right?
for sure. After I got out of the hospital, I think it was the next day, to my knowledge, I went to a noon meeting, an AA meeting out in Canandaigua, New York.
Did somebody let you know about this, or you just knew they existed?
I knew they existed.
Okay.
I've been around,
Sure.
So had you been around the rooms before?
Yeah, exposed to the rooms.
Yeah.
I'd even met people in the area.
Okay.
Trying to get sober, just couldn't do
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
And I went to this meeting and sat in the back. Didn't really want to talk to anybody. Tried to get out of there at the end.
Yeah.
And
Naturally.
yeah, this one guy stopped me and asked if I had a sponsor.
Oops.
At the end.
You're like, fuck! I almost
Yeah.
made it to the car.
Yep. And obviously I said no. And he said something to the extent, I don't remember his exact words, but do you want to live or do you want to die?
Yeah.
I must have looked pretty rough. I was fresh out of the hospital, and so he walked me through the 12 steps, and gave me this solution, and that's what's
What was
allowed
it
me.
like early on for you? So you go to this one meeting and you meet this person, and he's going to help you, and you start talking to this guy, and so do you start to find common ground with him? Like, do you start to feel like this guy knows what I'm talking about? This guy knows what I'm feeling, and he's sober. How did that work for you?
Well, first I thought he was crazy
Yeah.
because I didn't think there was a solution to the problem that I had.
Right. You were more unique than him.
Yeah, I thought 35 years of pain and suffering. I didn't think there was a solution. But he was the way he communicated. He said that you don't have to live that way. That there is a solution. You can be free of this. And then he told me some of his experiences that
There
were
it is.
common. Yeah, common to what I had been through. And so I heard him out. I even wouldn't commit to him right away because I thought he was a little off the wall. But eventually I said, "Tell me what to do," and I did whatever he told me to.
And
Yeah,
did you-
so I imagine step 2 and 3 was fairly easy after what you went through, right, in the hospital.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you started attending meetings on a regular basis at that point?
Fairly regular,
Yeah.
I'd say. I think the step work was probably the priority at that point.
Okay. So you
so-
guys were meeting
Yeah.
individually. Yeah.
Yep.
And were you sold on total abstinence, one day at a time?
Abstinence. Yeah, I mean, I was completely sober, so
And did you feel like a lot of the thing about when you first start getting sober, a lot of it is feeling. Like you read the stuff and you're like, okay, but then people say, well, you can't drink one day at a time, and my thing was I got a wedding coming up in 3 weeks. It's going to be open bar. Like you can't think like that. You got to stay sober one day at a time. And I didn't really get it at first. I felt like I think I can do it one day at a time, but I don't really even know what that means. Well, what was your thought process?
Or was that just removed that day, that night?
So mine was similar to what you said. Removed that at the hospital. I was scheduled to go to a 28-day program at my release from the hospital, and I canceled it because I didn't have the urge to drink anymore. I went through the 12 steps and I went to the meetings and everything, but I didn't have the urge to drink or use anymore. This is the guy that couldn't stop. I was buying an ounce of cocaine every 3 days. And
So that allowed you, when you were doing your step work, to really work on you, right? Without that static, that noise of
Yep.
the alcohol, because that you just weren't experiencing that part of it. So when you were going through those steps, it was probably a lot of good work on, realizing what got you there and those types of things.
sure. Yeah.
What's interesting is, and how it works. They talk about at the end of how the thing we read at the start of the meetings. They talk about how probably no human power could have removed our alcoholism, and that God could and would if He were sought.
Yeah.
And like the first time you saw it,
Yeah.
boom, right? Holy shit! What a fucking miracle!
Yeah.
Did you feel that way?
I felt like it was a miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that compulsion, the obsession, was lifted. Which allowed you to do the steps, which allowed you to change your life and your mind and your actions to become a sober guy.
Yeah. Still to this day, I don't have the urge to drink or drug, It's a miracle.
Damn.
So your experience through the steps, 4th step.
Yep.
Was that revealing to you? What was that like? Were you scared of it, or what was your experience with that? And then when you had to do your 5th?
Yeah, I was motivated
because
I was dying, and
sure.
So I wrote it out. I didn't hesitate. I was as thorough as I could be. I ended up doing another 4 steps since then.
Okay.
But I went through it to the best of my ability, and I went as quickly as I could,
Okay, so you just went full in.
Yeah, I think I went through all the first 9 steps in 90 days.
Okay.
So we went pretty
You were
quick.
on the intensive.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like do or die for me.
Was there a very like a point of like wow during that, of which step or what part of that, was there a big moment for you through that or something that stood out?
Yeah, for sure. So during the 5th step, doing the 5th step, probably at the end of the 5th step, I was relieved, obviously.
Yeah.
That was a sense of relief, like a weight off. And then again, at the 9th step, when I did my first amends, it was to my sister, and I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Was your family just like, what happened? How is this possible?
So they'd seen a little bit of this in the past, very brief periods. But when it stuck for a period, once I got to a year and a little over a year, then I was like, okay, this is something.
Grabbing hold of him.
Yeah.
So your sister, was that a meaningful one to you? I'm kind of gathering.
Yeah, for sure. It was probably one of the easier amends that I did first, honestly, but it was the first and heartfelt one that I did, So when I actually did it, just that relief of, that I'm cleaning house and making things right.
Did she accept it very well?
Yes.
Were you expecting her to do it that easily?
I didn't know what to expect because I did a lot of bad stuff,
right?
But she'd accepted it.
It was one of the biggest things that I realized is how much people really do want good for you, right? And we catastrophize. We think that they're going to be still mad at us and they'll never be able to let it go. But my biggest surprise was I'm glad that you're able to do this, and it meant a lot to me. But I just wanted you to get better the whole time, right?
Yeah.
And that was really amazing to me because I thought the world hated me, right? All these people hated me for being such a piece of shit and a loser because of what I had gotten into, because that's the stigma out there, right? You're an alcoholic. That's the worst of the worst, pretty much. And when I found out that people were so accepting of that amends and just more so encouraging to keep going, and then I looked up at me for being so honest and able to do that. They're like, who does that, right? It was really cool experience.
Yeah.
To have that done.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of parents will say, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing, because it's gut-wrenching for parents.
Yeah.
I mean, my son was a heroin addict, and it was fucking gut-wrenching, And then when he got clean, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah. Don't worry about me and what I feel. Just keep going with this train.
Right. It's not about me.
Yeah,
I just want you to be fucking.
You'll
I just
always
don't
be,
want you to die.
Right.
Sure. And I want you to live a happy, successful life, which he is now. I'm very blessed with that. But there was a time that it's, as a parent, and you have kids now too.
Yeah.
It's nothing will wreck you like that. Seeing your kids suffer.
Yeah.
Especially if there's nothing you can do about it. You
Right.
know. What was the amends with your parents like?
Well, I remember both. I'd say the one with my father was probably the hardest one.
Of course.
Yeah. But, he said the same thing. He just wanted what was best for me,
Yeah.
He didn't want the money back that I'd stole. He didn't want any of that stuff that I damaged, He just wanted me to do well.
Yeah.
Right. He just wants his son to be a happy, productive human being.
Right.
That's all he ever wanted.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And then you sometimes it makes you feel even worse. You're like, Jesus, beat me up a little bit. I mean, at least yell at me. Holy shit.
Or worse, well, maybe it wasn't that bad after all.
Right.
Well, I'm glad you didn't go that route.
And you know, I can speak for myself early on. When I saw that step, I'm like, I don't think I really need to do that.
Yeah.
I wasn't really that bad. I didn't really hurt anybody that bad.
Sure.
And then, you know, when I talked to my mother, you know, the reason I said that about I just want you to be, that's what my mother said.
Yeah.
My father was an alcoholic my whole life who died of cirrhosis at a young age, really, drank himself to death. And I know that, you know, it was such a burden on my mother when I started drinking like he did, you know. When I got into AA, she was like pretty happy. And then when I talked to her about my drinking and, you know, we don't know the extent to which we hurt people.
Sure.
Especially like you can say I stole money from you. Well, that's something I can quantify. But all those nights that, you know, I was out drunk and if I was staying at my parents' house, my mother would wait up. All that fucking turmoil in the brain and worrying about her baby boy who's now 30, but he's still her baby boy. That is tough on parents, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of alcoholics just say to themselves, and I know this because I've heard a lot of alcoholics say this, I wasn't hurting anybody. I was only hurting myself.
Yeah.
There is a wake of people that you've affected. And when we go through these steps, that cleaning house process it is big for us. And, you know, I think for a lot of people, and I've had somebody make an amend to me, and I was like, oh, you know, no, that's fine.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But for me to make the amend, it's huge.
Ooh.
It's like you have to do it.
Yep.
You know, you have to clean house.
So you had this experience, right? This spiritual awakening, change of mind, complete 180. So when you get to step 11, when you're supposed to, you know, strengthen that and investigate it more, what happened during that? Did you look into things a little bit more after that experience?
As far as spiritual beliefs?
Yeah.
Well, I'd say yes. There's been numerous things that I've done since then.
Okay.
I attend church now.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, my higher power is God. You know, and I've gotten so many things have changed in my life. So many things. I don't even know if I'm the same person that I was.
I know.
Before.
I'm sitting here talking to you. That sure as hell doesn't seem it, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, and it's always the case when I get you guys in front of us, right? And it's just like, wow. You know, it's just, you know, you're just super chill when you walked in, and well, you did some shit.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy.
Yeah, like I go to church on Sunday. I'm active in my church.
Nice.
You know, I'm married. I have 5 kids between my wife and myself. You know, man, it's just my whole life has changed. But yeah, the things I do now is, you know, a prayer in the morning,
Right.
inventory at night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that keeps me close to God.
So you're doing this on the regular, actively investing, right, and going through it. How about with step 12? Have you done any sponsoring?
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got one sponsee right now.
Darn it, we can't get on him.
Yeah. I try to keep at least one.
Good.
There's been times where I don't, but try to anyways.
What's that like for you?
Well, I try to mimic what worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is what I try to. I know that worked for me, so I try to do the same for others.
Sure.
You know, supportive, but not
Not preachy.
Not preachy, right? Make sure that you know that the solution is there for them. You know, so.
Have you had anybody that's had some success?
Yeah.
How's that feel?
That does feel good. To be able to kind of see their lights come on and see them do well. You know, that individual actually works for a local. It's FLACRA, but it's you know an agency that does treatment, drug and alcohol treatment locally. So
Giving back.
Giving back.
You know, they say that you know, AA gives us a design for living, because I didn't have one.
Yeah.
And this design for living that's given to us in the steps, in the fellowship, works. It really works well.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And if you can get to the point where you no longer, well, you were a different case because that obsession and everything was lifted from you through a spiritual experience. I had to work through it, and it took me a while. Mm-hmm. I had to keep going back out and coming back, and I get it, I don't get it. people, places, and things, blah, 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 blah. But eventually, I replaced all the old thinking with new thinking, with this new design, you know. And I've been reading lately, I know, and social media, they've got all these different avenues now to not drink, and people are kind of shitting on AA. And I saw one thing where it's a cult. And I'm like, if it's a fucking cult, I'm okay with it, man, because it saved me. You know what I mean? I'll live in this cult, you know. Yeah. But it's
only
not
a cult when we don't understand it.
Yeah, and you know, we always have freedom in AA. We have the freedom to fail. We have the freedom to pursue our own higher power, whatever that may be.
Sure.
You know, I mean, it's a freeing process. I think, when you join a cult, it takes away your freedom. Well, AA gives us the freedom,
and it requires some effort, right?
Yeah.
And so when people don't put the effort in and it doesn't work, they say it's a failure, right? Of course, but so that's awesome. You've done the sponsoring, and you've enriched your spirituality, right? Really cool stuff to hear about. So, and you like it now.
Yeah.
Do you ever run into people you used to run with? Because I did after the fact.
No. Yeah.
You know, what's funny is I've ended up seeing people I used to run with in AA.
Oh.
And they're like, oh, you too?
Gotcha.
Yeah. In fact, one of them, and I went to high school with this girl. And I didn't really know her very well in high school, but I'm at a meeting, and she's like, do you remember me? I'm like, I don't. She tells me your name. I'm like, doesn't ring a bell. And she's like, but my name was. And I'm like, holy shit, what are you doing here? You know, I get a lot of that. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
You know, I used to bartend, and I was at my first. Did you ever go to like a round? They call them a roundup, or regional. Okay, so I'm at the roundup, and somebody walks up. I used to serve, and I used to do coke. I think be fucked up with it. And she goes, I always thought I'd see you here. I'm like, thank God, right?
Sure.
Instead of reading about me in the obituaries, but
so a success.
Yeah,
it's pretty fantastic. Great story, man.
Yeah, definitely. My goodness, all the things you've overcome, and those were some pretty heavy ones. I mean, my goodness. You know, I know we've only scratched the surface, I'm sure, but the testaments in what you've done to get there, right? And the ability to just go with it once you had that experience and just move forward, that's pretty awesome. And, you know, here you are, almost 3.5 years later, telling your story about it, and hopefully somebody that hears it will be inspired to, because, maybe they've done similar stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so we're certainly appreciative of your story, for sure.
Yeah, so thanks for sharing with us.
Yeah.
Of course.
And until next time on the Glum Lot Podcast, I'm Mark.
I'm Brett.
I'm Andrew.
As we wrap up another episode of the Glum Lot Podcast, we want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who tuned in today. Navigating the path to recovery from alcohol and other substances is a journey filled with challenges, triumphs, and self-discovery. Remember, we're not affiliated with Alcoholics Anonymous, but we're here to provide a safe space for open conversations about the complexities of recovery. Your stories, courage, and resilience inspire us and our listeners alike. If you or someone you know is on the transformative journey, know that you're not alone. Join us next time as we continue to explore the diverse facets of recovery. Until then, stay strong, stay connected, and remember that each day is a step towards a brighter, sober tomorrow. Thank you for being part of the Glum Lot community.